They also showed more of, I guess, Metroid Prime 2.
Metroid Prime 2?
Yeah, you know, Metroid Prime 2. You know,
Echoes is here? Oh, wow. I didn't hear about the HD remastered it.
Oh, yeah, because it was
breaking news, Otaku exclusive, thanks to Miles. We could confirm Metroid Prime 2 is heading to the Switch too.
Yeah, well, yeah, along with the third one, the Corruption, everyone's favorite.
He just got off the phone with Mr. Miyamoto.
Yeah. Sorry, Metroid Prime 4, Beyond, right, I guess.
Oh.
Bienvenidos, Minasan. Welcome to another rousing episode of the Otaku podcast. I am your host today, Miles. And today it's a two-person adventure as we talk about the Switch 2. So that means, of course, my brother Ray is here. Hello, Ray.
Hello.
So we're going to tackle a little bit of weeks as usual, but then we're going to deep dive, take a slight little peek into the Switch 2 announcements.
A slight little peek?
No,
a big peek.
Big giant peek.
Big peekaboo.
A Pikachu. So there you go. So we're going to talk about, what we're seeing, things, a lot of the visual upgrades, and a lot of, how much money is going to cost us at the end of the day. But before, like I said, we're going to go into our weeks. So let's start with Ray. How's your week been, Ray?
So for me, I really haven't done a ton of stuff. Well, nothing that of interest for the mass audience out there, referring to new video games to play and or animes or things to be watching. Because, and I guess I'm gonna in for the second time in the podcast history, I was too busy working on the newest video of mine over on the YouTube. For those who know, I have a little anime YouTube channel over on YouTube. I guess it's already self-explanatory. Called Sourdough Shonen. And the last week or so, I put out I was gonna say one video. No, it's actually two videos, brother. I put out where my anime focus video was a recap of season 1. A little anime show called I've been killing slimes for 300 years and I maxed out my level. There's no I. I originally thought there was and I maxed out my level, but no I. Which I'm a little surprised because Japanese titles need to be longer. I've been saying this for years.
Yeah, I know. You want to make sure it fills the entire page and you might see the character at the end.
Exactly. So apparently I exaggerate just a touch.
Is there a shortcut?
300 slime.
Okay, because
not 300 slimes, which does not make any sense in the English language, let me tell you. So please go down below the description of this podcast and check out my video, because sometimes the algorithm gets a little finicky with those little differences, despite they're basically the same. So it's up to you. But yes, as I mentioned, it is a summary of the events of Season 1, because Season 2, in fact, just kicked off over on Crunchyroll this season. And I was curious to see what the show was about. I remember hearing about it when it first came out. And you know what? It was kind of a nice little surprise for me, to be honest, because it is an isekai show that is apparently cute girls doing cute things, which I did not know at the time. And I'm like, oh, it's not that slime show. And that's not that slime show. It's also not that slime show. Oh, it's the other slime show. Cool. But like I said, I rewatched it, or I watched it for the first time, and then I kind of summarized the events with a little bit of jokes here and there for help people refresh, because season 1 came out 4 years ago, and I know myself, I've caught myself like, oh, what happened in season this and this and this show, because it's been a while. So I figured it'd be a little helpful guide for people out there searching on YouTube, and it's done. Not like I'm a very, very, very small YouTuber, but to me, if you get over 100 views, that's a good day. That's a good day. So it's been pretty good for me when it comes to my numbers. Even made a couple vertical shorts out of that. Those have done really well for me. So that's been a pleasant surprise. Thank you to all my new subscribers out there. And then the other video I kind of, I guess I'm teasing off what we're going to talk about on the main podcast of this episode of the podcast, is I decided to throw my hat in the ring and do a live reaction to all the Switch 2 news that we'll dive a little bit deeper, because when I made that video and the recording of this podcast, a lot of things have changed, perhaps, in the world of events. So different takes going on there. But I did sit down and watch the whole live stream event.
6 o'clock in the morning, baby.
Yes, and definitely. And I revealed that tidbit in my thumbnail on the YouTube channel. So if you want to see my live reactions Once again, go to Sourdough Shonen down below in the description. There's a link down below. One click away, and you can go check out that, along with my 300 slime review. And I say 300 slime, or I want to say slime 300. I think it's slime 300. Dealer's choice. Either way.
So as long as you put that in, you'll find it.
Yeah, most likely. That was what I've been spending my free time with mostly. The one little small update is my journey through I'm gonna say Mario Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door, whatever. I forget which one.
Remastered, remake.
That's over on the Switch. I finally beat it the third dungeon ? On that epic journey that was a GameCube classic back in the day, and I'm at that tournament arc is kind of meh.
Yeah, like you got a new buddy out of it, pretty much. That's the gist.
Yeah, which is the funnest part, I guess. It's very silly, but going back to a game, and I did remember that in this time around. I even got my favorite color Yoshi out of that. Still enjoying it, but it was a little tedious. But it doesn't help. I had a whole month break since last time I picked up that game.
Yeah.
So that's a little on me. To be fair. Hopefully, I'll be a little more consistent between now and the next podcast episode. But still enjoying it. I still love the combat. Is it good going back and revisiting a GameCube classic once again?
Wait, the next one I think was it the Twilight Town, right? Is that number 4?
Mike, that sounds correct, but do not fully remember, to be honest. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about more GameCube stuff later on.
But no, any quality of life updates or anything like that, or it's just the same?
If there is, I can't tell you. It's been 20 years, brother.
All I know is I heard the sound effects and I don't like the sound effects.
You can switch back to the old soundtrack.
Oh, you can?
You can. That I did find out the other day when you pointed that out, and I realized, oh, you're right. This is not what I remembered. It was the new track music is fine, but if you remember the original, you still got the original. Dealer's choice.
I do like the fact you can do that.
Options are good. I always give the gamers the options, and no one can complain. But hopefully, now that my calendar schedule is a little bit freer, hopefully I'll actually be having more time to play games and watch new content. I guess I have been, but I'm a tease. I won't get into details. I have been exploring the current spring season we're in the anime season, and I'm doing the extra homework and kind of doing a little one-hit wonders buffet sampler of what's going on this season, and to see what's going to make my top 3. And of course, out of the top 3, if you don't know, we each pick 3 shows for each season, and then we pick 1 show to do a full review here on the podcast.
Right.
And we're going to do that next time in this very podcast. So maybe you should like and subscribe so you don't miss out on our anime talk next time around. It's coming right around the corner. So yes, there are some shows that have surprised me, and some I go, yeah, that looks the way that ended the way I would think.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because I haven't dealt with it myself yet because I usually wait for the art. I guess we watch the openings and see which one fancy. I guess I don't know.
Which one does? I usually I'm always go last, and whatever's left over, I just go this one. Call it a day. But this time around, I'm trying to do a little extra homework. But I'll probably let everyone else. Well, Frank's already made his choices, and I'll probably let you make your choices as well, Miles. But we'll see what happens. But yes, that was the one little itty-bitty thing I've done, and I'll keep doing. And once again, tease for next time on Talk Podcast. And with that, I will pass the baton back to you, brother, and ask you, what have you been watching or playing since our last episode?
So as this moment, still take a break from all the gacha games.
Sure.
It actually showed a lot of things yesterday because yesterday was next patch for ZZZ, and that game's getting stranger the more I keep reading about it because it's
Stranger Things.
Well, yeah, I guess. But I think we're losing the concept of the game started what we started with, and now it's becoming more like Honkai Impact the Third and all the other games because losing its charm per se. So I'm not sure if I want to continue this game or not. I don't know. And start around waiting for the next patch because then there are the anniversary patches right now. But if I wait to the next patch, I could pull for the newer, I guess that character, I guess. But anyway, so what I've been playing is Lost Judgment. The 5th game I'm behind on all the Yakuza. Oh, sorry, Like a Dragon games. I'm almost done with the story. The problem is, like, and you probably know this, brother. As no, someone
I know everything. Tell me.
Well, you're used to a detective, but you pretty
I
know
am the world's greatest detective.
But like, you figure things out before they do, right? Or the game figures out. You already kind of put the pieces together and things like that.
Whoa. Who put it together first? You or the game? Wait.
I did, because the game's like dragging it.
Oh, I see. You know what the answer is, and you're just waiting for the prompt to go. Aha! I have the evidence right here.
But it's been 3 chapters. I'm still waiting for that prompt.
It's coming.
It's like, because it's games. I think it's like 13 chapters. I'm on chapter 12, but it took me about 3 chapters to figure out, like, oh, it is him. It's
Evidence, brother.
And it's weird because it's like the main mystery is fine and stuff, and then they throw like I told you, the equivalent is kind of like the Moon Lady from Naruto.
Oh no!
Like this all since third party comes in and this is happening now, and it's like, but wasn't here this whole time? It's like, and now it's a bigger story because it's about Japan itself. It's like, oh, okay, here, no,
it's a whole conspiracy.
It's just like, oh, okay, this, all right. So I'm kind of rolling my eyes a little bit trying to finish this game. Then keep me going is that there's a lot, like, I guess, well, like most of these games do have a lot of side content, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's been, in this game in particular, you do a lot of stories with high school kids, because I guess you're like you get a job as a counselor, or I guess like a assistant counselor, I guess, something like that. So like,
assistant to the assistant.
But it's weird because pretty much it's like, hey, there's a mystery club, and we need you to help me find who this one, like, I guess basically like the illusion man, like.
The elusive man?
The elusive man, I guess.
I was going to say illusion. I think that's a different show.
Yeah, I think the wrong thing. There's this guy who's doing a lot of evil deeds for kids, and so we got to find this guy. So you're sneaking to other clubs and so
wait, for the kids or to the kids?
For the kids. Like he's like a I was
evil
like
genie.
Like, yeah, I guess that's the best way to describe it. But he lives on the internet or somewhat.
Oh, you mean the laughing man?
Oh yeah, I guess you put in that context. Yeah, I guess that kind of works.
Mm.
But but I guess the gist of it, this game, like, it lets you do all these little mini games, I guess. So like, you're you go through a biker gang and you have to like run bikes. You have to race bikers through the streets.
Makes sense.
Or you have to take pictures, or you have to find boxing, or
find boxing.
Sorry, you're pretty much become like evil. You got to like train to be a better boxer somehow.
Why not?
But it's like a lot of like I guess it's like, because I did buy the DLC. I'm assuming it's the DLC content, I guess. But it's more funner, than the actual game. And story wise, I guess, per se, as usual with these games, you usually get I guess you get lost in the side content, like, and then you got to I need to get through the main content. It's like, oh, this game's like
right.
But I'm almost done, so I think after this, I'm kind of tempted either to play the man. What's it called? The man with.
Or erase his name?
Yeah. Either that or play 7 again, but I feel that's just too silly before I get to 8. And then after that, I think I'm done. Oh, no. I still got
I was going to say.
Then there's the pirate
it's
one.
Not over. Not yet.
Which I basically reached 9, I guess. That's what they said. And I said, but anyway. So my journey continues. And I guess one other thing I guess we did this. We both did this week. We finished season 3 of Daredevil, right?
Mm-hmm.
And boy, did the wheels came off that horse real quick, or to the car real quick in that one.
I was gonna say, is this supposed to the horse driving the car? What's going on here?
No, the horse has wheels, duh.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's what it is. But the fact that with a lot of leaps in logic, and they're allowed the human pretty much get whatever he wants for like half the show.
They were determined to hit drama, and they didn't care at what cost they got to hit the drama.
They gave Karen a lot of abilities, so she would be on. She read the script and she know what to. She got a lot of things for some reason.
She's the real superhero,
and poor Foggy gets left behind in the dust.
I mean, he has a little bit more going on this season compared to season 2.
Yeah, but I feel like, I feel like it should be equal, right? But
he should, considering all things, he should definitely be the second fiddle after our main protagonist of Daredevil.
Yeah.
And he's still coming in 3rd place.
Oh, you mean Sasuke?
Oh, you mean the Daredevil?
Yeah, Daredevil, yeah.
Okay, I was confused because I'm like, well, Naruto would be first, Sasuke would be second.
Yeah, because boy, man, he was like challenging inner Sasuke for this whole season.
I mean, not really.
Well, I guess I don't know any other character that is like too like he's like just mopey.
Well, he's just he's a very dedicated Catholic, for better.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's going through it and he's guilt tripping himself constantly and downing himself constantly. But I don't mind that aspect. It's the other stuff. The first like handful of episodes of season 3 are actually pretty good. I think it's the best part of season 3.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get to like the midway point, especially towards the end, just the pacing and the leaps of logic.
There is no pacing.
They're very bad and noticeable. Because we teased and joked about last time on season 2.
Yeah.
But at least season 2, it's not until after kind of Frank quietly goes to the background and more of a supporting character that becomes an issue. Here it happens like, like I said, by episode 3 and 4, it's like, ooh, I could see the holes in the plot, if you will. And it's not like bad, but yes, after season 1, season 2, season 3, you can see it slowly kind of deteriorating a little bit.
Or being more like, okay, Disney wanted this show to be a certain way now.
Well, but that was a Netflix thing.
Well, I mean, with Netflix, Disney.
Well, I don't know. Well,
I don't know.
I'm just saying. Just want to let everyone know. At the time, it was a Netflix production. But I'm sure Disney went, hey, wink, wink, nod, nod.
Shout out to the anime inspired scenes, and it had like people talking in the back about like the
dramatic, his guilt trip.
Man, that was
and the devil on his shoulders.
That was a good chef's kiss.
It did help.
Yeah, so I guess now we're actually caught up now, so now we can watch the new one.
Indeed.
Or the newish.
Well, it's still new.
New.
Came out in the last month or so. But that's why we took this little detour, brother, so we could now really dive in to the new stuff, which hopefully will be good. I don't know. I feel like I've heard good things, and then I've heard radio silence, so I don't know what that means.
Well, that's always like the thing. Like, I think to me it was weird when the show, like everyone's like, "Oh yeah, this show." It's like the Goofy, the Skeleton Crew, right? Like they were talking.
Yes, I guess that did happen.
Like the first two, oh yeah, this is cool. This is like goodies for kids, like those goodies for Star Wars, and then like after that, but then just like it just disappeared, and like not even anything negative or bad, just
it seemed that way.
But yeah, so tune in next time we're here. We'll probably. So I don't know. It's finished. I don't think it's because I think that's weekly. I think
so, and I don't know how many episodes. A little know how far they are between now and then, but at some point, I'm sure we'll have maybe a little spoiler talk. At some point, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, so tune in for that. And then I guess with that, concludes my week. So now I guess we'll now enter to the Switch 2 or N2.
N2? What's N2?
The NS2?
I've never heard anyone say that in my life.
Well, that's because we're trying to bring new things here in the podcast.
Right. You enjoy you keep pushing that, brother. We're trying to get that
hashtag
going.
NS2.
And
hello, crickets. So of course, talking about the Nintendo Switch 2. I guess which is an update to the Switch, or like
you guess? You're still not sure if it's an update? I'm gonna help you out, brother. I'm gonna tell you right now, it is in fact a successor to the Nintendo Switch.
Though I heard on the internet it should be called the Super Nintendo Switch. I figured I don't know if that's better or not.
They are so paranoid after the traumatic event that was the Wii U. They're gonna be like, keep it simple as hell. It's the Switch with the 2 means it's a new one. Just steal from the old Sony playbook. It's been working for them for, 2.5 decades?
Yeah. So the Switch 2 is a slightly bigger version of the Switch. I think it's like 7.9 inches, so it's a little bit bigger, like size-wise. I think it's a...
Screen size, yes.
Screen size, I guess you'd say. Interesting that the Joy-Con 2s, I should say, are now connected by magnetics. So
Magnetics?
Magnetics. Oh, okay.
Magnets?
Yeah.
Brother, words have meaning.
All right, they're held by magnets that
are magnetic. See the difference there?
Okay. It's my fault. I understand. I guess it's weird because the console is all black.
Is that weird?
Well, I mean, because the other ones at least has some color, or
there's very color inside the joystick.
The
Joy-Cons are not colored, if that's what you mean.
Yeah. So I felt
it's not as colorful.
Yeah, I guess going for a more modern look. I guess
it's simple, sleek, and black. Everything looks good in black.
The interesting thing is that this console has what it called the C button, which I guess we know now is for Discord. I mean, game chat.
It's very different. I'll have you know.
It's a feature that apparently we could have 4 people to show the streams at the same time.
and they want to charge you for the service.
And I like to see what I think as you said, I was like, I want to see if this actually works the way they showed on it.
What can I tell you? As a video game consumer of Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo does not have a great track history when it comes to online features that in particular involve voice chat. Because for those who don't remember, when they tried to do the Wii U and like with Splatoon, which was a very action oriented shooter kind of like game first for them, you couldn't just put on a headset that you had used on your PlayStation or your Xbox. You had to use the Nintendo voice chat app on your phone and then use that to connect to then talk to said friends to play Splatoon, which you couldn't even get them guarantee that you were on the same team together on the first and maybe the second night. I think only in the third Splatoon game they actually made that a thing you can guarantee.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Nintendo and their online services do not have a great record. So to ask people to starting to pay for that, like the old Xbox 360 service, that's a bit of a tall order at the moment.
Yeah, and it is. I guess, and the weird part, they were showing off like it's like a new feature, new things. It's like well, Discord exists for a while now.
I know, right? So did Nintendo just discover Discord?
And it's built right in. So you press C for chat.
It's a very Nintendo way of fixing a problem, I guess. If I will say this, I'm trying to be positive once in a while. If you had youngsters, your younger gamers living at home, and you're as a parent, you're kind of like nervous about them going online, right? By having a feature like this, they're not connected to the whole worldwide web. Mm-hmm. They're connected only to their friends that are connected to their Switch system, which you probably hopefully have vented beforehand, so that when they do play online with their friends, they're playing with their friends and not random Bob and his weird things he does on the internet because he hanged out on chat roulette or the Xbox 360's Uno's game services from back in the day. So it is funny that Nintendo's now going back 20 years to solve this problem, but I guess better late than never.
All right, they're selling it as a feature that's existed for a while now. It is interesting because also with this, they also introduced the camera, which is it's like a little, I think it's like USB-C camera. You just pop in and it's a little camera.
Look at me, Mom! I'm on Twitch.
So I did like they were showing like as Hori, the
third party manufacturer.
I guess it made like a little Piranha Plant one, but it doesn't work the same either. Or it does it.
Wait, what?
It apparently only does like 1080 instead of like the official camera does like 440 or I think 2K.
1440, you mean?
Yeah.
I didn't know what the specs were on that camera.
But you can close the little Piranha Plant so that when you're done with the camera, you just close it off.
Then it's worth it.
Yeah, so they kicked off with that, and then they showed us, I think there's a couple I guess enhancements to certain games, or there's because it got confusing. So it was like there's Switch 2 version of the Switch 1 games, like of course Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. I'm surprised the Kirby game got the Forgotten Land got a Switch 2 upgrade, and the Metroid Prime 4, which hasn't come out yet. Oh, I guess we should talk about that too later because intently we'll talk about it eventually later on. But no, I guess as a Switch 2 version, I guess, instead of being like its own release on the Switch 2 per se. So Praise mentioned, you get I guess you pay who knows how much like upgrade fee, I guess, to upgrade because if you have a copy of these games, you can just upgrade to the Switch 2 version of these games. And it looks nicer, like the Kirby game runs to 60 frames per second. You can see more detail, obviously more vibrant and more colors. And it goes like little.
It supports
DLC.
HDR now.
Yeah. Oh, because I should say the Switch 2 itself, I think it uses NVIDIA again, but I think it uses a newer version of the Integra chip. So they say allegedly supposed to be 10 times faster than the normal Switch or the original Switch, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't seen any official things on that fact, but the spec numbers it's quoting that it's be able to do, it has to be. In my mind, it has to be based on NVIDIA technologies, and in particular the DLSS when it comes to.
Oh yeah, they did say that. It's confirmed you could use that
because the Switch. I'm going to assume that this is a powerful handheld console, right? Mm-hmm. Compared to the original Switch. Having said that, though, do I think this little portable little tablet can run 4K natively? No.
Wow.
It's going to be a little bit of computer magic that Nvidia has been pushing. And to be fair, it is impressive. But if you're a hardcore PC gamer, kind of resolution, frame rate person, you'll be able to see the little differences if you really, pull a copy of Cyberpunk or whatever, and you pulled off from Steam Deck or you pulled it from your PC. I'm sure you're going to see a difference if you do a side-by-side comparison. But most people, they're not going to really do that. They're just going to play the game. It's going to look good and they can move about and they won't care.
Yeah. So, no, so much a couple I guess, because I guess it is backward. Well, I mean, it's backward compatible with Switch 1 games. So you can play those 3 Switch 1 games on the Switch 2 and it runs same as the Switch 1 does. But, certain games will get they could say some games will get a slight upgrade. Some games will get an actual Switch 2 version. And some get remade to being a Switch 2 itself game or a standalone game, I guess. I don't know. It got really confusing.
It gets confusing. So this is the way I broke it down. So there will be the easy version of, hey, we're going to re-release Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild and the Kirby game you mentioned, and even Metroid, I think, is the handful they guaranteed. And we're going to put them on the Switch 2, and it's going to be the Switch 2 version of the game. We're going to sell it at the retail value. Now, each game is a different price point, and they are more expensive, and we'll get into that in a little bit. So that's the simple one. We're just going to remaster the game for Switch 2. Right? Simple, right? But for those of you who already had the Switch 1 version of those games, we'll have an option to upgrade. In particular, the Zeldas, the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, will have a $10 upgrade fee to get the Switch 2 versions, kind of like for those who had the PS4 version and then got a PS5 and they wanted to upgrade to the PS5 version. For the same price and the same idea, you'll be able to upgrade and download and play the Switch 2 version of using your Switch 1 copy, both physically or digitally, as long as you have that on the original Switch. So there's that where you pay for that upgrade, but also the Zeldas in particular, little asterisk here.
Right.
If you have the Nintendo Online Expansion Pack service, the Ultimate pack you can get, you get access to both of those, Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, for free.
Oh, okay, that's a part of the service.
That is part of the service right now. That's the only thing they've guaranteed and said, that you get these for free if you have that service. Of course, once you lose that service, you lose access to that game. So honestly, for me, I'm just going to give them the $10 so I don't have to worry about, do I have the subscription on? Because it goes on and off. The other thing is, there are certain games that will have free updates that will that you played on the Switch 1 will play a little bit better on the Switch 2 if you get the Switch 2.
Like Age Calamity, maybe?
And there's a handful of games. In fact, I could tell you a list, brother. I got very nerdy here. So here are the games that will get a free upgrade. You don't have to rebuy nothing. You don't have to, no upgrade fee. You don't have to have the online service, as far as I know. We have, in particular, ones of interest, Mario Odyssey, the 3D World Super Mario with the, was it Bowser's Fury?
Yeah.
Both of the Zelda games being Link's Awakening and Echoes of Wisdom, which you talked about.
Oh, it actually could run.
Yes, which they desperately needed. Even the Mario Wii U Deluxe, whatever that one was called. I think that wasn't it called like Wii U? I think it was just called something like that.
What, Mario Kart? Or?
No, the 2D platformer that came out on day one on the Wii U. Super Mario.
I guess it's just.
I think it's just Super Mario's U?
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, and then the other two games of note would be the Scarlet and Violet of the Pokemons.
Hey, right. No wonder, huh?
Oh, right. The other newest 2D. No, not that I saw so far.
It's one of those weird.
I mean, it did run pretty good on the Switch.
I mean, it ran good, so I was just curious, I guess.
But in particular, the Zelda, the both Awakening and the Zelda game desperately needed an update. So to see that, that's very good. And those are going to be part of the free stuff.
That might be worth the price.
So it's various degrees about that.
Yeah, it's very convoluted, everyone.
It was very confusing, and that's why I did the extra little homework for this podcast to make sure to explain the different tiers, because Nintendo just kind of said them real quick during the Direct, and their like Treehouse event, and then their website information. It tells you that, but it's still kind of, you have to like do a little detective work.
Right. Yeah. So after that, they're showing like some parts of the system, like I guess there's HD Rumble 2, so Rumble's better, it's supposed to like be like twice or at least like 3 times the normal Rumble, I guess, on the Switch 1. So you'll feel impact, I guess.
Yeah, which, sure, I guess, but like, How many times did we use the Rumble HD Rumble from the first Switch instead of the 2 times someone played like, was it 1-2 Switch?
Yeah, well, it was like the early ones, and they kind of just, and everyone decided, like, nah, no.
It's like they're kind of scared to walk away from the Wii completely.
Oh, and the Joy-Cons too actually now have a new ability called mouse mode, so that you can make it act like a mouse, which they're pushing with that. One of the Switch 2 games was it? What was it? Dive in Dusk? No,
I forget.
But they were showing like, it has a mouse mode, so now you could use it like a mouse for certain games.
Which I'm still kind of like,
unless we get Mario Paint, again, baby.
That's the only thing that I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But I'm thinking like, well, I could just do that on Photoshop and call it a day.
I like for people apparently when Civ 7, whatever, you could just do.
Oh yeah, I don't know, the whole mouse thing. It just felt like they went to the R&D boys and went like, boys, we need it. We get something for the Switch. Oh, I guess we can make it like a mouse cursor. Brilliant, sir. Put it on there.
Yeah.
But like, why and for what game? Because I guess it's kind of like the basketball / what's the racing game on Steam? Rocket League?
Yeah.
Equivalent.
I mean, on the Epic Store now?
Oh, right. I forgot that happened. They're pushing that, motion controls basically again. But I just don't know how that really works if you're sitting on your couch playing this Switch 2 because you docked it. Now you're looking on your big screen. You're sitting down on your couch, which is probably several feet away if you have a big fancy TV. And now, what are you going to roll them on your thighs all day? What are you trying to give yourself a rash?
Well, I say you can use it anywhere. They said any surface is okay. But I think it's like, but I don't.
Do you want to though?
Yeah, that I don't know.
I just don't understand and then sure, oh great, now you can play PC games on your Switch too. But I'm like, I guarantee you the experience is not going to be as good if you just went over to your desk and sat down and booted up your old fancy PC out there with your old keyboard and mouse.
Yeah,
I have to say, I haven't played nothing yet. Maybe I could be turned around, but boy, oh boy, is that an uphill fight for me at the moment.
So that's a new feature. They're also showing like, they had a whole slew like showing like, I guess, Nintendo Switch 2 games now. They were showing Ivan and Richard Mario Kart.
Oh yes, that's the big one. Day one.
Mario Kart World. In which basically now you could go everywhere, which I guess I have to see what they mean by that, because that has to be interesting. They could go you go off the road. You could do your own thing, and I guess you go from race to race now, I guess. Like you go from one course and you drive to the next course, and then you drive to the end course, and I guess that's it. No.
That's what I understood. And I kind of, to be honest, I was, I guess, reference from last week's episode. I was second monitoring that a little bit, watching the live tree about that. And that's what it looks like, where you're just driving down the street until you hit the course. And what it looked like, and maybe I'm wrong, so, big asterisk here, and, it sure looks like all the races, there's no longer really laps. It's just get to A to B, and whoever gets to B, first wins.
Right.
And something about that, I don't know why, but just made me go, There's something about kind of like learning the terrain or the course, right? And, a little bit better and faster, kind of like your whatever Gran Turismo, Forza games you're used to racing, right? It's like, I butchered the turn the first time around. Oh, I did this, and I should have done this, and right. But it doesn't feel like you really have a chance to learn that anymore, because everything is the one lap to win them all. And that's the thing. There's a transition between that course and the next course, but like it looked a little silly to me. But like I said, I wasn't 100% focusing on it, so maybe I missed some nuances here and there to make it exciting. But
I did saw some of the Treehouse play of it, and that's what kind of the same feeling I got, in which like it's no longer like we're doing individual courses now. We're just doing one big giant course. It depends, I guess. Obviously, if you have more people, you're having more fun.
That definitely helps.
But I feel like as a person who, if you're trying single player, I don't know how much content is there if you're playing by yourself.
Yeah.
But but that's according to us. We're not really Mario Kart aficionados, or
yes, sadly, we are not those people.
So we will play. We will play with each other, or our friends.
Well, yeah, definitely. It's a multiplayer game for sure. Because that's on my free time by myself, I'd rather be playing Fire Emblem or Paper Mario or anything else. But Mario Kart's not one of them.
Yeah, so they're showing that. They had a game for me and Frank. Another Age of, I guess, Zelda Hyrule Warriors game. The
All right.
Age of Imprisonment. Which I go, but we already saw that. Okay.
Maybe there was something you didn't see what she did, huh?
I know. Like, it was one of those things I kind of like, I went, sure.
Sure. I'm fine with it. The question is, how good does it run?
Shout out to Age of Calamity. Someone please remaster Age of Calamity.
Yeah, I don't think there's...
Calamity, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say there was that too. But yeah, I don't think there's any official news on an update for that. I guess the answer is play this game and forget that old game, which I really wish they would update that. I'll pay the $10, $15 maybe.
I want to load without any lag when there are too many enemies on the screen. That'd be nice.
And they had the balls to make that a local co-op.
And it ran. They never
does not run well. If you watched our charity stream last holiday time, you saw how that game ran.
Yeah. So they were showing that there were DK
Bananza,
which is basically a Donkey Kong Odyssey. That's basically what it is.
Was the Kart rights there? Was it self-defense?
Wow, you're gonna pull this in right now?
For those who remember the old TV show Bananza, which none of you do because you're all much younger than me.
So basically, this pretty much Donkey Kong. Will pretty much platform way through trying to get golden bananas, I guess, through this world, which everything pretty much itself is like destructible. Like you could go down, go up, you could break rocks, toss rocks.
Minecraft fans rejoice.
Yeah, but it's interesting because I guess for Donkey Kong in general, they give him a new look now.
Yeah.
So I guess he reminds me kind of more, I guess silly. I guess maybe that's a way to describe it.
Well, they allow his face to make silly expressions more.
Yeah, he has more expressions now. So, but I seen gameplay of it. It's kind of neat. It's a platformer, so it's it's very old school because not many games do that anymore these days.
It seems like a solid platformer. I'm not like, oh my goodness gracious, like if it was Mario Odyssey 2 or something like that, then yes, I would pre-order, take my money now. But this is like, we'll see if I get my hands on a Switch 2 and or if it still happens.
Yeah, because it's like I'm slightly interested a little bit, but is it like say Mario Kart per se? So I don't know, but I guess we have to. That comes out in
July.
Oh, sorry. They also showed more of Metroid Prime 2.
Metroid Prime 2?
Yeah, Metroid Prime 2.
Echoes is here? Oh, wow, I didn't hear about the HD remastered it.
Oh, yeah, because it was
breaking news, Otaku exclusive, thanks to Miles, we could confirm Metroid Prime 2 is heading to the Switch 2.
Yeah, along with the third one, the Corruption, everyone's favorite.
He just got off the phone, Mr. Miyamoto.
Yeah. Sorry, Metroid Prime 4, Beyond, I guess.
Oh.
Which, I am more optimistic. Well, obviously it's Retro Studios, so I should be more optimistic about it. It sure just looks like...
It looks like Metroid Prime.
I guess I should... I
like Metroid Prime.
Do you like scanning things? You're going to be scanning a lot.
I mean...
And now she has psychability. It's like, okay.
Why not?
I mean, we did Time, we did Corruption. I mean, what else can you do at this
she
point?
went Super Saiyan last adventure.
Yeah, so it's like, what can you do? I mean, I'm not shocked, but I guess it's an interesting take.
Don't get me started on the Metroid timeline. It makes no sense.
So there got a handful of other games out there. There were one thing I guess it was exclusive was it the Goofy for the Nintendo Switch Online would be the GameCube games.
Yes, they're adding that as the part of the expansion pass once again if you buy the service.
Ever expanding expansion pass.
I mean, you're getting more for your money. That's good.
I just like the fact that Wind Waker's on there, but never bring the HD version out.
Well, yeah. I mean, Soul Calibur 2. I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah, the leak version. I like who never Soul Calibur.
And I love the way his mouth moves.
Yeah. Now I remember. That's
the Hero Time Legend. The Hero Time.
Soul Calibur. The good old days. Like, we're trying to actually.
I mastered that game.
Using weapons. Oh, okay.
I'm not the biggest fighting person, but if you put a character I really like in the game, I'll learn to play as that character.
Yeah.
And I learned to play as Link. Let me tell you.
Shout out to Mega Man X.
That was the only character I bothered playing in that Infinite game.
With the Infinite Eggs. So back to the Switch 2. I think I guess we're at the point now. We'll discuss the pricing, I guess.
Guess so.
So they So this is gonna get a little tricky, folks, because unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond our control, the price is in flux, I guess. But at the moment of the announcement, they said roughly it's $450.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
No
you know,
game.
no game.
Just the console and your Joy-Cons.
And no, and then I think there's a bundle you can get for extra $50, which gives you Mario Kart World, a digital copy of Mario Kart World.
Mm-hmm. Which is apparently a discount because they're selling that one for $70 a la carte.
I thought it was 80.
Or is it 80? Oh boy, is it 80?
I think it's 80. I thought it was 80.
Oh, I thought it was 70. Yikes.
Yeah. So that's the thing, is that obviously because the new console, they find a way to, you know what? It does take a lot more effort for us to make this game now, so that'll be extra $10. Okay, I should say no. The pricing varies from game to game. At this moment right now, they say like the Donkey Kong game is gonna be like 65. The Mario Kart's 80, and and it guess it'll vary between they say between the 80 to 65.
Or Breath of the Wild for 90.
Yeah,
for a giant asterisk with that one.
Yeah, but that's a very extreme caveat.
Pretty much, but that's what everyone, the news articles are saying. Oh, it's $90 for the old Zelda game. Well, it's a bit of an exaggeration, but technically, yes, you could potentially pay that price, but majority of people will not be paying $90 to play the Switch 2 version of that game.
Because everyone bought a lot of copies of the game.
It turns out the first time around, they sold a handful of copies, so most people will either get a free upgrade patch because they have the service, or two, they don't have the service, but they still have their copy of the game, and they could just pay that $10 upgrade, and it upgrades instantly with them. And in particular, I guess, since we're here, the DLC is the caveat there, because if you don't have the DLC already from the Switch 1 version, they're going to charge you an extra $20 to buy that along with the Switch 2 version of the game, which is $70, thus giving you $90 to get the full Breath of the Wild experience. But, as I imagine, most of you probably still have a copy of that Breath of the Wild, or even if you don't. Well, if you do digitally, I guess, it's hard because my brain always thinks physically, but I'm the very small group, minority of people who still buy games physically. And the Switch 2 is making me think I need to make the Switch even sooner. To digital games, because physical games are having less and less meaning as the years pass on. Speaking
of which, I guess to note the Switch 2 games, they'll be red card. They'll be just like the Switch cartridges right now, but they'll be red.
Yes.
Instead of the gray it is right now, and they go up to twice the amount of space now goes to 64 gigs.
Bigger and better.
But they also introduced a new type of download key cards, which basically is that you buy the game, but once you put it into your Switch 2, it downloads the game instead of being on the cart per se. But then you also could take the game out and then resell it, or you're able to resell or refund that game, and it's not attached to your account per se. So we'll see how that works.
You can resell a digital game, quotation marks.
Yeah,
a lot of this, especially this stuff, is all up in the air, and a lot of it's going to be up to the publishers, because
that third party people.
Exactly, because for Nintendo, I imagine they're always going to do the quotation marks, because after the Zelda thing we just talked about, they'll be a little bit more honest. But other companies, because the scuttlebutt is right now, when you buy the Switch 2 cartridge, are you getting the game, or are you getting a code that you just download off the internet, right? Because that's a lot of games are now these days, is where you buy the disc or whatever it might be,
and you get a patch.
But then you need the patch to really actually make the game playable on day one, right? And that's the question, is what am I getting if I buy a physical copy? And thus my hesitation to I might as well buy the digital copy, because maybe, which no one has really done yet, they haven't been an option to really sell your digital catalog of games, right? Because even Steam hasn't really done that, to my knowledge. They give you refunds if you buy certain games and return them, or ask for a refund in a certain amount of time.
A certain time,
but to have something like, oh, I'm tired of this, I'm never gonna play this game, or I'm tired of this game. Hey, can I give this game to my cousin digitally, right?
Yeah.
That isn't really a thing yet, because obviously the publishers would like you to keep buying, because money is good for them. well, I don't know. A lot of this is like hearsay, and it's going to be coming up for each. And if it's going to be like each individual case, this isn't a class action lawsuit here. We could ground up everyone.
Most like it was my only effect. Mostly third party games. Obviously Nintendo's probably going to afford
You
the
hope.
money. Yeah, they'll like the money to, I guess, for their games, but who knows? We don't know because it's all speculation.
So and that's why I'm hesitant to go physical this time around, because it seems like you have to do like research every time. Is like, when I buy this game, what am I buying? Am I buying a code? Am I buying a code that has the game on it that maybe down the road I could be able to extract it and then emulate it on another way, means, and fashion down the line? As we've mentioned before on this podcast. Those things really matter to me. So if I'm not getting it, why am I losing up more storage space? Because I don't know if you know this or not, brother, but here in Southern California, it's kind of expensive to buy a house.
It is?
Yeah.
I never noticed.
Oh, fun fact. Learned something new today, brother.
Yeah.
So yeah, eventually when you keep buying these little cartridges and discs and everything in between, it starts to add up really quick. So if I'm not getting anything to own, quotation marks, then why am I bothering?
It's baffling things we have to do. Let's see what else. Overall, how do you feel about the Switch, brother? Or Switch 2 in general, I guess. Seeing the gameplay and seeing videos and reading stuff online. How do you feel about it so far?
Well, today in this current time, we're recording the podcast because here's the thing. I guess we haven't gone there yet, but I guess I'll get us there. Is we were supposed to have already been able to pre-order the Switch 2 here in the United States, but because of current world governments, that was postponed. But things have kind of gone backwards a little bit to a certain degree. So who knows where in the future we might be? Because by the time this podcast comes out, who knows where we might be? So like I said, all the things we might just talk about and feelings and this, that will definitely change in the future. So that's why you should like and subscribe to the podcast, because that way you can stay tuned.
So, in 2 weeks from now, it will be different probably.
Yeah, you don't know. It's welcome to 2025. So yes, but at the moment, the price is still $450 for the base, $500 with Mario Kart. And the system is supposed to come out on June 5th, 6th?
Right. There's a global, I think.
Yes.
Launch day.
But we cannot pre-order anywhere, not even, I think that because you can pre-order at your Best Buy, your Amazon, and your various, outlets, retailers. But there was the option to order through Nintendo directly, but I think that was not until like May 9th or something like that. And I think that's still holding, but I don't even know if that's still holding. So it's a bit of we don't know what, everything's up in the air a little bit in regards to
it's very sticky right now.
When are you going to be able to buy it, and how much is it going to cost you, and then can you pre-order, and where you can pre-order that. So all this is up in the air. But going with the facts, we know right now that this recording, this moment in time, the $450 is definitely the max I would like to pay for this console altogether. I think $400 is the better spot to be at.
Right.
But I assume Nintendo kind of expected there was going to be an extra surcharge manufacturing a product and selling it in the United States come 2025. And so that's why they increased the price. Having said that, though, when the price increased even more than that during that same 24-hour window of this announcement, that got them a little cold feet and made them be like, oh, we'll get back to you about the pre-orders, and the price might change. Having said that, I think $500 for its hardware and promises is within expectations.
Right.
Is it great, amazing? Am I like, oh boy? No. And it's really making the Switch 1 price tag at $300 look like an absolute steal. So it only in reflection does it like hurt me financially, if you will.
Right.
And slow down my idea of busting out the wallet and buying this thing. Because when you think about it, if you wanted a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, it's still $500 for each of those, no?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, it's still definitely within that window, right? You know, holiday sale, this and that, might go a little bit cheaper, this and that. But it's still within that window. I mean, isn't the PS5 Pro $700-800?
Yeah, the thing that I think your Dead on Arrival, it's just like the PSVR 2. It's just like I never it came out, and I don't know if people are buying it or it just disappeared.
Yeah, I've heard absolutely nothing about the Pro edition of that console. Maybe at some point when they discontinue it, I'll pick one up just for historical facts because I have like every other major console since the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. But minus that. And for the price point when it comes to, you know, Microsoft and Sony, and even also with Valve and the Steam Deck, that's basically within that price point for in particular the LCD version of the Steam Deck, because that's what you're getting with the Switch 2. It's still an LCD screen and not an OLED screen. But supposedly it has more power, and it definitely is a faster refresh rate at 120 hertz. Because I think the OLED model of the Steam Deck is only 90 hertz. So it promises more capabilities at 4K when you plug it in.
Right.
To
the little dock and stuff has a little fan now, or has like a whole.
Yes. So obviously it must be doing something a little bit extra because now they have to cool it down. And once again, it's a little bit of that NVIDIA technology because they really haven't talked about the nitty grittiness about what makes it better and stronger.
Yeah.
They just tell you it is, but you kind of want to hear facts and details to really make you be able to sleep at night because boy, oh boy, the Switch One has been an underwhelming console for the last few years.
Well, I mean, I look at like the last couple games. Well, I'm talking on the podcast about a couple games I played, and you played too on the Switch One. Now that's like we're at the limit here. This is it. You could feel like we reached the point of the end of the console.
It is 8 years old, and it is showing its age really obviously at this point. So Nintendo really needs a Switch 2 successor, which we're finally getting one, hopefully this June. And yeah, so for me, I'm okay with that price. Like I said, I'm not like excited or thrilled about it, but it will not stop me from trying to order one.
Right. No, I think for me, it's like probably because usually June's usually when it's video game time, a video game month. Right now they'll show what's really going to sell the console probably for Christmas or something like that, like the next app, whatever.
Well, there'll be a holiday blockbuster.
Yeah, something like that. So I'm waiting. I guess I'm anticipating that. So you by buying now, there might be like we might get Donkey Kong Bananza and the Mario Kart, but eventually, where's the next Mario game or some of that will come down the road probably.
Yeah, which I am curious about, and I'm trying to remember what they did with the original Switch, and I think they did something somewhat similar, to be fair. But here's the difference: is when the Switch 1 came out, Breath of the Wild was out on day one,
right?
Which already had anticipation because this was the Zelda game originally that was promised for the Wii U, right? It got pushed back until the Switch version came out, and it came out on both consoles. But guess what? Everyone played it on the Switch. Not many played it on the Wii U, and that to me that's a big. I like Mario Kart. But am I excited about a Mario Kart as much as I would be excited as a new 3D Zelda game entry into the franchise? No, I'm not. And plus, we knew after that initial release, by the next like handful of months after the initial launch of the Switch, they announced, "Hey, Mario Odyssey's coming out," which or Mario and Zelda in year one of a Nintendo console. We haven't had that shit since like the Super Nintendo or something, right? So that was amazing. And right now, comparing that lineup to what we know now, when I said things are going to change in the future, I'm going to sound like a moron in the future. But at this point in time, this recording this podcast, I am definitely not as excited with the current lineup for the Switch 2 announcements, which I guess since I also have a photo of that in my phone, I'll tell you right now what to get excited for.
Oh, that reminded me. They also announced that the next Kirby Air Raiders. I forgot to mention that.
Yes, which is supposedly this year. Is that right?
Allegedly, yes.
Which we're already in April, soon to be May, and all they showed was a CG trailer.
Yep.
So I am struggling to believe that one. But having said that, I appreciate Kirby's Air Riders. I can't say I love the game, if I'm being honest.
Well, it's one of those like unique games back in the day that came out once, was kind of like a cult hit, and then disappeared.
You had to get up what Sakurai was putting down, and I kind of got it, and I went,
But, but he's back though, baby.
Well, I'm glad he's making games. Will I pick up a copy?
No more
yes.
Smash. No more
Am I going to
Smash.
pick it up on day one? I'm not seeing
But
that.
see, if you get that, you'll see the call for new Smash Brothers game will be inside the Kirby game.
All right. So here's some of the highlights carrying on day one on the Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Bravely Default 1 HD Remastered, which
Okay, I like the clap.
I like the first game. The problem is, for an HD Remastered, it sure just was like a drag and drop of the 3DS.
But a lot of those.
And I know they're going to see that's the artistic design choices and that, but I'm like...
It's Squeenix we're talking about here.
Squeenix?
Squeenix. That's what everyone calls them.
Oh, is it? I've never heard this before.
Short term, I guess. That's what the kids called it. No.
See, I'm not a young hip kid, so I wouldn't know. We have Cyberpunk 2077 just in time, only 5 years late to the party, but here's that. The Hitman Role of Assassination. Yeah. Also, I hear good things.
Yes, you get again.
Also, very late to the party. Their 007 game. Which I got excited for 2 seconds, and I went like, "Oh wait, but that's not coming out anytime soon." And no, it's not. We have the Mario Kart where we discuss Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S.
Woo.
So not even a really new game. It's a super version of an older game that you can already play on your current Switch. Street Fighter 6, which you could play on your current PlayStation console or console if you're choosing. I think currently, or is it just PlayStation?
I think it's everywhere, or it's on the Xbox and PlayStation. I think.
And look forward to Yakuza 0 Director's Cut.
That one, because there's new cutscenes. Like,
I mean, it's Yakuza 0. It'll sell a couple copies just because it says that alone.
But they're gonna play yet. Yeah.
But most of these games are just games that came out a few years ago, but now it's available on a Nintendo console.
Forgot, brother, about Elden Ring.
I don't think that's day one.
Day one, no. But they did announce like.
Which also, once again, I don't know how that game has. And I said this in my YouTube video. I've heard that game has issues on no matter what console you play that on. And supposedly at the time, maybe this has changed. Supposedly the best way to play that game is to buy the PS4 version, but to play it on your PS5. Because it'll run it a little bit better. It'll look a little uglier, but the frame rate will be smoother. Which, let me tell you, in a game like that, I think that's what really matters. Because you need to be able to dodge.
And I forgot, there's the other FromSoft game they announced. The
Blood Dusters?
The Dustborn?
Something.
Which is like,
not Bloodborne 2. The lawyers have told us it's not Bloodborne 2.
But you were getting excited for Zelda, brother. You're like, oh.
Well, it's funny because I'm looking at this, because I'm telling myself this is From Software. I'm like, Nintendo wouldn't pay for a From Software game. Apparently they would. The problem is it's not the From Software game that you probably are hoping it is. Because it's a online multiplayer game. Was it PvE? You a bunch of people playing against the computer, essentially, right? Is that right, Miles? Do you know?
PvE?
PvE, that's the technical term is. Yeah, it's not Bloodborne 2, is it?
No. Someday, it's a game from jail.
Damn it, Sony. I'll take a remaster of the first one at least.
Something at this point. Yeah, so there are a lot of games, because they had during this direct, they had a lot of like reels of like games that already are here. So it's like there was nothing really new per se, other than the obvious couple of games we have here and there. So hopefully that when the game launches, we'll get more stuff or more announcement. Well,
you want more brand new games and not like remasters or HD copies of a 3DS game. And Yakuza 0, which came out on the PS4?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the problem. If you're a person who only buys Nintendo games, then have I got amazing news for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing news. For everyone else out there who is a bit more like me, who dabbles once again over on Steam, on the PC, PlayStation, the Xbox, it's a little bit of a sad for day one.
Day one, yes.
Because like I said, I like Mario Kart. If other people of my friends pick up and buy one of these, and with that game, obviously I'll play with them, right?
Yeah.
But by myself versus like a Breath of the Wild, I'm like I said, I'm not as excited, to be honest. Though I am excited to pay that $10 upgrade for you to play Breath of the Wild. So in a weird way, I think that's what I'm really most excited about for the Switch 2, is to play my old school games a little bit better with that and Tears of the Kingdom, and of course the access to the GameCube game. But of course, as I mentioned before on this podcast, there are other ways to play those games if you have
using
discs.
Enhanced methods.
So is it a brand new experience for me? No. But would it be nice and convenient for me to turn on my Switch and play said games without having to do the extra shortcuts and save states? Yeah. It would be nice. So for me at the moment, that's what I'm most excited about with the Switch 2 is going back and playing GameCube games, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and then seeing the free upgrades with in particular.
No Kirby?
I mean, well, I was going to get there eventually. I still haven't played that game, which I was going to say between that and the Pokemon Scarlet, which I have picked up, but I might as well just wait till now the Switch 2 comes out and play this version of both these games because they're basically the remastered, the complete editions of said games, right?
Yeah.
So sadly, that's what I'm kind of more excited about is to play old games again, but hopefully a little bit cleaner and smoother if I had the old hardware. So that's going to be my motivation trying to buy one on day one for myself.
Yeah, I think you get one, see what it's about, and then eventually down the line, when it comes with a new color scheme or something like that, we'll get another one, I guess. You know, like, they're probably like some, like, what, Animal Crossing, whatever.
Share with you? Never.
Well, like some new Animal Crossing variant will come out or something like that, and it'll be like a color skin or, like a console designed for that or something like that. That's usually what they do. Like you said, the reason you would get one is that you want to play your old games better, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And overall have a more modern console. But what they showed right now at this moment, I'm like you said, I'm not very like gung ho about it. If we say we try to pre-order one, and we don't get one. Oh darn! I guess we'll have to wait, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like it's like the PS3, the PS3 days when everyone's fighting for one.
Well, in particular, or at least for me, for the PS3, when it came to that, it was just because, it's hardware backwards compatibility, which did not last 6 months in manufacturing.
Yeah, before this.
So that was my motivation buying the PS3 at that time because I would like to play my PS1 and 2 games. I still have that little console, by the way.
Yeah, so I guess after said and done, it's a lot of wait it out. I guess it's hard because, like you said before, unfortunately, there are constraints out there
that we just don't know what's going to happen to this thing,
and the fact that a lot of the games they're not bad games, but they're not games that for a console launch you like jazz for.
They're not a brand new experience. Which to be fair to everyone out there, because they're like, these guys hate Nintendo or something of the sort. Most game console launches do not have the most amazing
Resistance.
You enjoy that, and that's it.
The Gundam.
The Gundam?
The Gundam game that was a PS2 Gundam game?
It sure looked like a PS2 game on a PS3. But that's the thing is, historically, there's been one or two big games to buy on day one, and not much else. But the thing is, once again, it's whole hard, right? Because the Switch was a bit of a phenomenon at its time. And Breath of the Wild is a huge... If you were that nerd who wants to 100% that game, you could spend hundreds of hours playing that game. So you could spend that, $60, $70, $80, and you'll feel like you got a deal because you're entertained for months on end, right?
I do like the fact, because I don't know if you saw the Zelda notes. It was like, I guess, it's an app you put on your phone.
Yes.
And you're able to listen to more, you learn more lore about the game, I guess.
Right.
Like they're like different access points, which it's kind of neat. I don't know if it's $10 more neat.
I'm playing the $10 for the better frame rate.
So we'll see. I don't know. It's one of those things you kind of have to. It's a hands-on kind of thing, I guess. But yeah. So I guess that pretty much wraps up our Switch 2 talk, I guess.
It seems like I feel like I got everything out. The biggest mystery is, once again, what am I getting on this cartridge when it comes to the Switch 2 ports or additions or versions, whatever they're phrasing it as. Am I getting a game on the cartridge? Am I getting a code? And this and this and that. And it sounds like the answer is all of the above, which scares me. So at this moment in time, if it's a hardcore game I really want, I will probably buy a physical edition. Having said that, if it's even just slightly, I want this, but I'm in no rush or feeling nothing about it, I'm probably just going to pick up the digital copy because the physical game, it's a losing war, and I think it's time I officially throw in the towel.
You're going to toss the towel, brother?
So yeah, I don't want to, but when you buy said game cartridge, what are you getting? And the answer is practically nothing.
Oh, I know he's going to get the Metroid Prime game on physical. So I guess that concludes our talk for today. Hope you make your decision. Hopefully we'll.
We helped inform your decision making.
Inform decision, I guess the best way to put it.
No, do what I tell you. Do order now. Go to bestbuy.com. Use code Sourdough Shonen. Save 10% off.
But once everything hopefully gets sorted out in the next couple of weeks, I guess we'll figure out more how the situation is, because unfortunately it was a lot last week.
A lot of things are up in the air, and we're waiting for them to fall.
So I guess, like Ray mentioned last time, next time on the podcast, Frank will come back, and we're going to go into our, I guess, now spring anime season previews. Each one of us is going to choose 3 shows. Ray already told me ones that he says are mine, and I can see why.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll debate and talk about them and see which one will be the shows that we picked to win the season.
Could it be like me, like last time? The greatest anime of all time?
I think so. I think it's like number 5. I think I saw the Zenshu thing when.
I am curious to see what other people think about that show. It's an interesting head scratch.
Well, but it makes you
tune in to last episode of Taku Podcast.
But it does make you think, though. Like
it does.
You rather have a show that makes you think than a show go, or
how'd that go, good brother? There it is.
Yeah. That does that.
You're welcome, listeners.
Yeah, if we use that sound bite wherever you want to use it for, I guess. Yeah, so tune in next time, and we'll talk to you then. See you later.
Bye-bye.